All right. Boom. We in the gym. Welcome to EJ's Gym. A guide to elevate your mindset. Man, I have a special guest on the line. Big bro. Nothing but love. I'm telling you, man, this guy is a mentor. Like, I can't even put it in words and describe like my college experience and what it would be like without you. I think of you like, honestly, like my life without my dad. You know what I mean? My life without my dad, I can't even imagine what life would be like. I couldn't even imagine like going through my college experience and not having you there as a big brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead and tell the people who you are.
Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Artis Brown Jr., motivational speaker, life coach, mentor, and personal trainer. And I'm just glad, I'm elated, and I'm grateful and thankful to be a part of EJ's Gym.
Yeah, man. Look, I appreciate you coming on, man. And like I said, I can't even express it or probably put it in enough time. We'll probably go forever and ever and ever and ever if I really talk about the impact that you had on me as a kid in college. You know what I mean? Like just being there, like I said, like the big brother, I never really had to really kind of open my eyes and show me about life, about women, football, you know what I mean? Everything, dog. Cologne, you know what I'm saying? You know, my cologne game strong, strong, baby. And confidence and mindset. You know what I mean? And I owe a lot to you, man. I owe a lot to you. And I just want you to share with the people your mindset and everything about you that makes you who you are. And let's start off, first off, you know, one thing we do share in common, we both played at Central. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We both played at Central, but your time was a little bit before my time, right? You know, you was there with Coach Butterfield to me, Coach Mitch, you know what I mean? So how was the culture like back then when you played at Central?
I mean, it was an era of, you know, we had to have the mental fortitude as well as the physical fortitude as an athlete, because back then, you know, coaches were built upon, you know, if you hurt, you can't really show it. You got to play through toughness. But then being older now, as a young man and a former athlete, when you think about it, how can I play and be very effective as a teammate or a team player for my team if I'm hurt?
Right.
But those are the things that we learn as kids. I mean, I've been playing Little League football since I was 5 years old. And it's like they drilling you toughness. Don't cry. Play through pain, things like that. But I mean, back then, I mean, you know, it was appreciative. I appreciate it. You know, it was a different era back then. So, I mean, I appreciate everything about it. There were some coaches, you know, we never forget. We remember them. I mean, they're like father figures, uncles, and things of that nature. But there are some of those coaches that you like, you know, I never want to see this guy again, man. But, you know, it was different. It was different. I mean, it was very different. If I can change one thing and not taking anything away, you know, from the coach that I did have on varsity, I would say that I think Coach Harold McKinney, and I'm quite sure there are a lot of people would agree with me.
Right.
I think that Harold McKinney should have been the head coach for Miami Central for a couple of years after the head coach that, you know, was there at the time.
Okay. So what was Coach Butterfield, what was he like? And Coach Mitch, was Mitch the quarterback?
Mitch played receiver, man, back then or whatever. He played receiver. Butterfield, you know, he was receiver. You know, I mean, we go way back from Northwest Boys Club days.
Oh yeah?
Or whatever. And yeah, man, you know, Tyrone Butterfield, Northwest Boys Club. And I mean, we grew. We had a bond. I mean, you know, as young athletes at that age, you know, young teenagers, you know, we spending out at my house, I spend out at his house, we playing Madden all day till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, get up, go to, you know, practice, 3-a-day practices, things of that nature. I mean, that was my guy, man, old Tyrone Butterfield, man.
Yeah, he ended up going to Michigan, right? He wore number 1 at Michigan, wasn't it?
Yeah, he put that Uno on.
Ooh.
Go blue. Yeah, man.
Hey, man, I remember those guys, man. And they were part of the process of instilling that confidence in me, man, because they had confidence in themselves as people, you know what I mean? And they would instill the same, and they would challenge us, you know what I mean, as players, man. But it definitely made me better, man. It helped my mindset, man. So all y'all were like playing receiver. You played running back then, though.
Yeah, I played running back, man. And then, you know, Coach put me in his office one day. He was like, Brown. I was like, what's going on, Coach? He was like, man, you know, not taking nothing away from you. I mean, as a running back, I mean, you have things that you can't teach. I mean, your peripheral vision is something that you can't teach. You either born with it or not. But he said, being that you don't weigh a lot, we don't want to put you in the backfield because, I mean, just the everyday or the every down pounding over and over. Not realizing then as a kid, but understanding now as a running back, you're liable to get hit at least by 6 or 8 people every play that you get the ball. That's a lot of pounding.
It is.
That's a lot of weight. I mean, especially when you have guys weighing 200 to 300 pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you add 200-300 pounds times 6.
Right.
That's 1,200 pounds hitting one guy.
Yeah.
So he was like, what we want you to do, because you can catch out the backfield. You have one of the best hands on the team. So they consider me a scat back. So my 12th grade year, he wanted to put me in the slot as a receiver. I didn't understand it, but then again, as time went on, I appreciated it, but because I was considered as an athlete.
Right.
I realized that if I go to another position, that's opening up the running back position for another athlete. So now we have more talent on the field. We have more threats. So, I mean, I was moved to slot receiver my senior year.
Okay.
But running back, man, that's my first love. Anybody that tell you that know me, they know that, man, I just give me the ball. Give me that pill, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, so what was that process like for you? You know what I'm saying? When you graduated high school and your process with college or whatever the case may be, how did that go for you?
Well, I mean, a lot of people may remember Hurricane Andrew, which came in the summer of 1992, right before the season. So instead of the season starting on time, we didn't start our season till like October, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having 10 games, we had 6.
Right.
And I mean, adversity, man, struck. I mean, you think about a 16-year-old teenager, man, thinking about his career just like going down the drain, because now I go from playing 10 games a season to 6 games.
Right.
This is my last year. Instead of playing that night, we playing, 1 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And that it was tough. It was tough. And I always had dreams of going to University of Miami. I mean, we used to go down there with the guys, me, Butterfield, go down there with Lamar Thomas, Jesse Armstead.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Williams, man, won number 5 for University of Miami. And he actually from Texas, and he was the first guy to ever give me some screw-in cleats. Or whatever. And I wore them, my senior year. But, I mean, it was tough dealing with that. And then, I ended up going to Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska. Homesick. Ended up staying up there for a little while. In the midst of that, also dealing with the fact that my father was dealing with AIDS. So, I mean, it was a lot. Came home for college. I think I only stayed in the college about, probably a month. Came home, man, and then, I mean, it's like my life did a whole 360, man. Started getting in trouble. Start, selling drugs, hanging out all time of night, things of that nature, and that led to prison time. And like I say, it was good because sometime in life, God tried to get our attention. And he gets our attention by putting us in uncomfortable situations. Because when we were comfortable, we put everything first. We feel like we're too busy. We have too many things to do. When he trying to get our attention, he calling us. We not answering the phone. He calling us. We looking at it, but we putting the phone down because we all don't want to hear the truth sometimes. Because whatever it is that we're doing at that moment, we know that may rock our ship a little bit. That may rock our boat a little bit. Man, I'm doing this, doing that, and then I don't want to hear this. So, going to prison, man, had the opportunity to sit down for a while. I needed it. It was worth it. A lot of guys who, went to school with me, played Little League football with me, those guys was incarcerated. And I mean, when I say the love and the support, meaning they'll come and be like, man, what you doing here? Man, we used to come see you at Trash Pile, the infamous Trash Pile Stadium. We used to come see you on Friday nights, man. You supposed to be in the NFL, man. What you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And at that age, 18 years old, I'm thinking to myself, man, these guys really looked up to me like that.
Right. Miami,
so it kind of shifted my mindset a little bit of like, hey, the saying that coaches use, you never know who watching.
Right. True.
Discipline, doing the right thing when nobody is watching or when you think nobody is watching. Character, carrying yourself in the proper manner at all times because you never know who's watching. So, I had opportunity, just to reflect, analyze, critique, correct some things. And, I shall say that my time, being in prison, I appreciate it. I mean, some people may not say that, or some people may say, well, why you appreciate it? Because I'd rather go to prison and have an opportunity to be free again physically than to be 6 feet under and don't have another chance, another opportunity.
So, all right, so you were in prison, but you had time, a lot of time, just like you said, to sit and reflect. And I remember, a lot of stories you used to tell me, and you used to draw. You used to draw something when you were in prison. What were you drawing?
I mean, you gotta refresh my memory. There's a lot of things you write down the vision and make it plain. There's a lot of things that I dreamed about, a lot of things that I aspire to have, and just, practice make improvement. We always heard practice makes perfect, but then again, we're not perfect. We'll never be perfect. So when I started to receive the words of practice makes improvement, that goes with anything. When you want to change your lifestyle from negative to positive, when you want to change your attitude from going off on people to being a little more patient or not responding as fast as you used to be, whatever it is, when you practice, you become better at it.
Sure.
So I just, I remember, you probably remember when I told you that I had a dream of getting a Range Rover. That was one of my dream trucks. And I went home to Miami, test drove it or whatever. And
yeah,
I believe when you write down the vision and make it plain and you post it somewhere and you begin to see it every day, it's motivation, it's inspiration. It gives you hope. So I put the Range Rover, I cut it out the magazine and I put it on the door by the light switch in my dorm room. And that was one of the, the things that I desired to have. And Psalms 37 verse 4 says, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. That was in 2003, I think. I put that on my wall, and as God would have it, with patience, patience is very important. Praying is very important. In 2010, God blessed me and I was able to get that vehicle that I wanted.
Okay. So you put it there. So what about the field? You used to draw a picture of a field and you used to say something about your brother, right? Something you wanted to do with your brother.
Yeah. Again, I have this quote and it says, God will place us in some uncomfortable situations to show us who is for us, who is against us, show us our purpose, and give us what we need to live in it. So being that I was in prison, I had the opportunity to dream. Now, most people would say, well, how can you dream? How can you have hope? How can you be inspired? How can you be motivated while you're incarcerated? It's easy. Physically, I was incarcerated, but I still was alive. I still had hope. So I had a dream that, you know, my brother and I played college football together. And I truly believe that dreams are visions. Sometimes it's speaking to us, and sometimes it's speaking to people around us who we may know. And again, write down the vision and make it plain. So the dreams that I had while I was incarcerated, I did the best I could by drawing. I just draw a football field. I wanted to go, you know, to Florida State when I got out.
I remember.
Or whatever. That didn't work because God had a different plan. I'm okay with that. But I dream of playing football, you know, with my brother who is 4 years younger than me. And I'm gonna tell you who inspired that. Hopefully I get a chance to tell him, man, before, you know, we leave this earth. Vernon Mitchell, man, and his brother Cedric Mitchell played at FAMU together. Vernon Mitchell was my quarterback my senior year.
Oh, you talking about Ced, my coach, Ced?
Yeah. Vernon Mitchell converted to playing quarterback my senior year in high school. When they went to FAMU, he was playing safety. Had number 31. Ced had, I think, number 11, 80 something. They was playing that FAM.
Okay.
So that was like inspiring. Like, man, that's cool. Like these younger guys. And again, like I said, you never know your purpose in life, man. Them guys sit back and they always, you know, tell me a lot of things that I said when I was playing with them. And they 2 years younger than me. And I'm like, wow, y'all remember that? So God has sent different people to you, and they'll bring up different situations to show you that you've always been a leader. You always had the gift to speak. You always had the gift to lead. But I never knew that because I don't do things for accolades or for attention. I do it because this is who I am. But when you will be held accountable is when God show you your purpose, you know your purpose, and you don't live in it. That's when the blessings start to fade away and things of that nature. So, I mean, that inspired me, man. I prayed about it, and, you know, I got out, you know, again, I always tell these guys, man, I got out, you know, working, and then again, trying to live that double life. Or if I get a job and work, I'm making under money, I can still sell that dope and do this, do that. That didn't work. End up getting in trouble again. And that was like the final straw, man. Like, you know, we all, and don't get me wrong, I'm a very spiritual person because I understand that I'm not still here because of some of the things that I did. I'm still here because of God's grace. I'm still here because of God's mercy. I'm still here because my purpose has not been fulfilled yet. And that's what we all have to realize, that we're not going to leave this earth until our purpose is fulfilled, whatever that may be. Example, sometimes, you know, people die at 2 years old, 3 years old, 12, 21, whatever that number is. We as humans, yes, we're selfish. We're humans, but God created all of us. And if he says it's time for you to go at 5 years old, that's what it is. But what I think it should do is allow us to appreciate the air that we breathe, the use of all of our limbs. And I'm gonna propose this question to you and the audience, right? And I was thinking about this. What if we was born, right? The day that we was born, there was a paper, a sheet. Shall I say after the what we get when we go out of town to play football team? What's the sheet we get when we go out of town? We get on the bus, we go to the hotel.
The scout report.
No, coach give us the paper, man. We got to meet it.
Oh, the itinerary. The itinerary.
What if we had an itinerary, right?
Yeah.
And when we were born, after they, you know, take the fingerprint, the footprints, sign all the documents and all that, the doctor give our parents, right, an itinerary. And on that itinerary, it's telling you day for day, week for week, hour for hour, year for year, how our life is going to be, what we're going to go through, and when we're going to die. Will we be able to handle that?
I don't think most people will. Most people can't even handle knowing that they're going to die one day now, because everybody going crazy right now.
So that's why I said, for me, this is for me. And it, again, when you talk about mindset, warnings come before self-destruction.
Right.
We all get warnings.
Right. Right.
Some people get more warnings than others. Some only get one and lose their life. But something has to transpire in our head when we're doing things that we know we should not be doing, making bad choices, making bad decisions. Something has to click in our head and say, you know what? Man, you almost died. Or you almost lost your freedom. Man, you need to tighten up. That's the inner spirit that speaks to us. God speaks to us. Sometimes we just don't want to listen. And I realized, and I've learned throughout the years, you have to understand how God deals with you as an individual. He deals with all of us different. The way I live my life, I know when he speaks to me, the tone of voice that he speaks to me in, he has my undivided attention. And I know either I'm going to tighten up or I'm going to tighten out. You know what I'm saying? So after going through different things over and over in my life and realizing, man, you may not be as blessed as you were last time. You need to tighten up. Am I perfect? No. But my mindset is strictly on making the right choices and decisions. And again, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to tell the world, when you get to the point in your life where you're not going to compromise your freedom, your integrity,
Man.
and your life,
Wow.
man, I don't care what nobody say about me, man. My mama, my brother, no disrespect to nobody, but it has to come to a point in your life where you got to know, I can't deal with the consequences if I make this choice or decision. I'm not worrying about what everybody else say. And again, we grow up and we hear different things more and more till we start to believe it and we live that way. Prime example, if you tell somebody enough positive things, they're going to be motivated, inspired, they're going to have hope. I mean, they're going to be ready. If you tell somebody a lot of negative things, they're going to be discouraged, low self-esteem. Right. I mean, there's a lot of things. So we know these things, but we have to know it enough to say that, hey, I'm leaning towards this negative stuff, so I need to tighten up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you get to that point in your life, and I stress it because, man, I lost a lot of homeboys to the streets, and it could have been me.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you, I think one thing that really, I mean, I don't know if it was an out-of-body experience, but I went to like 9 funerals, man, in 1 year.
Wow.
And one of the funerals that I went to, as I was looking at the body in the casket, I kind of like saw myself in there, man. And I was like, you know what, man, you need to tighten up, boy. Like, you need to tighten up. And at that point in my life, that's when I began to start changing my mindset.
Right.
I started to change the environments that I spent most of my time in.
Right.
I started to change my language.
Right.
My verbiage, the way I talk. You know what I mean? And things like that. Again, I'm not perfect. We're going to go through trials and tribulations in this lifetime, but I'm proud of me.
Right.
You know, I'm proud of some of the choices, decisions that I've made. So, I mean, it got my mindset right, man. And, you know, faith, man. I'm big on faith. You know, that's that's my clothing line. I'm CEO of Have Faith clothing line. You see I'm wearing my shirt. To-do list. Worried. Did that. Stress. I know what that feels like. But as you can see, having faith, man, is like it's a fresher breath air, man. Is it easy? It's not easy. You can attest to that. We done had a lot of conversations, man.
Right.
If you don't have a person in this lifetime that you could call anytime, talk to them about anything, not worrying about being judged, but knowing that this person is going to listen to you, and even in the midst of that person telling you the truth, even though you may not want to hear it, but they telling you the truth.
Right.
It's up to you to say, you know what? I respect this person. I love this person. And even though sometimes I don't want to hear what they got to say, man, I love them and I trust them. And if we don't have people in this world like that, man, it's not going to be easy.
Right. And it's funny, you said something about, was it like, not imitation? What's the word? I wrote it down. No, it's right here. False advertisement. That's what it is. False advertisement, about selling false advertisement. Because so we live in a new generation with technology. You know what I'm saying? I know you are my friend. Just like you said, I can pick up and call you whenever. It don't matter the time. It don't matter what the situation is. It don't matter the distance. I know. And I have those people in my life. But nowadays, we grow up in a world where these kids press a button and they think these people are their friends because they follow them or they add them on Facebook or whatever they're doing, Snapchat or whatever, TikTok. I don't know all that stuff. You know what I mean? So these kids don't know what real friendship is nowadays. You know what I mean? So what type of advice would you give the average kid out there right now that want to be in the streets, just like what you said? You know, we got a lot of these kids, they throwing up these gang signs, they listen to these rappers, you know what I'm saying? We talk about it all the time. We had a discussion, I think it was Saturday about this, right? So what type of advice would you give them? Because just like you said, you had to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? You went to prison, you know what I'm saying? And then you came out still doing crazy stuff. And it took like you going to a funeral to realize like, okay, man, I need to reel it in. What type of advice would you give a kid so they don't have to even go through everything that you went through?
I mean, the best advice that I can give, I mean, first and foremost, it's okay as a young man that has the same color skin that I have. It's okay to speak proper English. It's okay to pronunciate. It's okay to wear your pants evenly on your waist. It's okay to be a good guy. It's okay not to want to sell drugs, rob. I mean, it's okay to want to be or aspire to be some other than a football player.
Right.
It's okay. You don't have to play football.
Right.
You don't have to play basketball.
I love it.
You could be a lawyer. You could be a firefighter. You could play tennis. You could play baseball. I mean, we have to change the narrative of all black men are good at is football.
Or sports,
it's
period.
Okay.
Or just
it's
sports, period.
It's okay to be an academic scholar. It's okay to be something different than all the other guys around you. It's okay for you to say, hey man, you know what? I'm not finna go rob that store with you. I'm not finna go shoot that person. I'm not finna sell no dope. I'm not finna steal that car. They could call you green. They could call you a buster. They could call you whatever these different names. You know, the terminology changes over time from when I was growing up to now. It's okay for them to call you everything that's negative, and you can be strong enough in your mind to know that, hey, if I get involved with people that are doing negative things, there are negative consequences to your actions.
Right.
One, going to jail and eventually going to prison for the rest of your life, getting a death penalty, or dying in the midst of you committing whatever crime it is that you're doing.
Right.
And not only that, I think a lot of people, man, a lot of men don't realize that. Prime example. If I get involved and say I go rob a dude with no mask on, shoot him in the commission of that crime, and just walk around here like everything okay. I'm staying with my mom. I have a girlfriend, or I have a son, or I have other homeboys. You putting everybody that's an extension to you in trouble. Because if that dude see you, wherever he see you at, wherever he see you with, he gonna feel like if I don't kill him now, he may come back to kill me. And it's about a revenge thing. And if you have your mother with you, your girlfriend, your wife, your baby mother, your kids or whatever, some people don't care.
Right.
And that's what we have to realize, that when you do wrong, man, you put everybody that's associated, that's affiliated with you in your life, you put them in trouble. And I don't understand a lot of these guys, they go right back to their mother's house, or they went and shot somebody, robbed somebody. Are you thinking? Are you really thinking? Then you go get your girlfriend, or you just went and shot somebody, or robbed somebody, or killed somebody. And then you ride around, you got your girlfriend in the car that may not know what you did, or somebody you call your homeboy.
Right.
And I say this. I say this.
Wow.
We talk about snitching a lot. And I don't think people really understand like what that means. Even if you did live that life and you wasn't 1,000 or 100 or whatever, you 10 toes down, whatever the term we use, because people use those terms, I guess, to validate they street credibility, they tough and all this, but then you really see how tough these guys is on first 48 stuff like that. Now I'm gonna give an example, right? The first example is gonna be what I call not snitching, but saving your life and your freedom. Say for instance, I got a friend, very close friend. I mean, no matter, I go to his house, he go to my house, we grew up together. I mean, this is my dude. I call him my homeboy, right? Again, this is what I call not snitching. This is my homeboy. Now, we be together every day. I mean, people see us, we tight. I mean, that's my dude. He love me, I love him. Now, listen to the words I'm using. Like, I have $5, we hungry, I give him $2.50. Like, we done been in the trenches together, like, quarter juices, quarter chips. I mean, like,
right.
This my dude. I love him.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you love people, right, you'll never put them in a messed up situation. So say I decide to want to go, and these are reality situations. I go rob somebody, whether I have on a mask or not, but when you rob someone you don't have on a mask, you actually saying to that person that you robbed, F you. I don't care about you. I don't care about my life. Now, I say I rob them, I shoot them, I go rob a bank, I go, whatever it is, I go do. And after I go do that, I go pick up my so-called homeboy.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't tell him I went and robbed the bank. I didn't tell him I went and shot these dudes. I didn't tell him I went and robbed the crap game. I didn't tell him none of that. But then I go pick him up. And then we get pulled over. Now he looking at me like, man, what's going on, man? And now, and this is reality, man. And it's sad. It hurt me to my heart. If, some tears rolling out of my face, because I'm not afraid to cry. As a man, and that's another thing, not trying to jump off the subject, but as men, we taught not to cry at an early age. Why? Why can't we be emotional? Why we got to keep everything in? There's nothing wrong with crying.
Right.
I'd rather you cry to detox, to let what it is that you're going through out, versus crying when you finna be locked up for life or getting the death penalty. You see what I'm saying? So we get pulled over, and now my homeboy that I love, he loved me. I done put him in a situation that he knows nothing about. That's not right. Because now I've included him by having him in the vehicle
Right.
that I just used for a robbery, a shooting, or a killing. Now we go through the interrogation process, and like I say, again, y'all need to watch the first 48 because a lot of these tough guys end up not being so tough. So now we go through the process, we're getting interrogated, things of that nature. They have me in one room, I'm teaching. They have my homeboy that I love dearly in another room. The process, because they have a job to do, is to find out who committed the crime. Now my homeboy don't know anything about what just transpired because I didn't tell him. So when they go to him, and if he says, man, I don't know what you talk about or whatever, man, he did that. Talk about me. That's not snitching. Because when you love somebody, you care for someone, you don't want to hurt them. You definitely don't want to bring them into something that they do not know about because I choose to do wrong. Right. You don't do that.
Right.
So if he tell on me and say I did it, that's not snitching. What he's doing is saving his life and his freedom. And I can respect that.
Right. Right.
Now we're gonna get into snitching. Which I'm just cut from a different cloth. My mother raised me, she always said, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. So she basically was telling me as an individual, and this is the one that sticks with me, and it will stick for me for the rest of my life. There comes a time in your life you have to be a man and suffer the consequences for your own actions. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna take that same dude. That's my homeboy, and we sit down, and for whatever reason, people decide to want to rob, do this, whatever. We decide to say, hey man, let's go rob this bank, man. And he may say, man, yeah, hey man, we ain't never did that before, man. Like, we got a clean record, we athletes. I mean, we come from a good parent. Home, I mean, everything going good, but we just decide because the spirit that got in us, because for some reason, we seeing people on Instagram, they standing on the Ferraris, the Bentleys, they got the money to their ear.
The money phone.
They got on, the name brand clothing, you know what I'm saying? The Versace,
the chain, the gold
the Christian Dior, they got the big Cuban links on, the Rolex, all that. So
everything.
They intrigued by that. So we say, man, let's go rob this bank. Now, from the time we decided, heard what I said, the both of us. From the time we decided to say, hey man, we gonna rob this bank, man. We start to plan, plot, and strategize. So we in it together now because we're doing this together. Nobody copped out, nobody said, no, we're not gonna do it. So as time going on, again, we're plotting, we're planning, and we're strategizing. So what people have to understand is, and I just hope this seed that I'm planting today, man, somebody life be changed, bro. Like, cause I care. Why? Cause I've been down that road. I care because it's my purpose. I care because I'm passionate about what I'm doing.
Right.
And as we're plotting, planning, and strategizing to rob this bank, you have to understand that we could go in there and get killed, both of us.
Yeah.
We could go in there, one of us get killed, and one get away. And the next thing would be, you have to understand this. If you go commit a crime with somebody, and they get away, and you get caught, why are you telling on them? See, that's the thing that you have to realize, you have to understand when you commit a crime. Right. You got to think about all these things. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not condoning a crime or anything of the such, but what I'm saying is, you have to think about what you're doing. And if you can't handle the consequences or whatever it is you decided to do, don't do it.
Right.
Now, he got away and I got caught. I'm just using that as an example. It's not a real life. I'm just using that as an example. They interrogate me. They asking me blah, blah, blah. He got away and I got caught. Again, we both agreed, and common sense has to sit in somewhere again that it's a possibility that somebody might get away. Somebody might get caught. Both of us might get caught.
Right.
So if he got away and I got caught, and I tell on him, that's snitch. That's wrong. You just as guilty as he is, because you get caught don't mean you supposed to tell on him.
Right.
If y'all both get caught, that's easy. You know why? All you gotta do is say, yes, I did do it. I'm willing to suffer the consequences that come with what I did. And now it's time for you to flex your muscles and be a man. Now it's time for you to flex your muscles and say, I'm standing 10 toes down. See, now you behind them closed, walls and them doors. People on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other social media sites can't see the real you. See that mask that a lot of people put on for attention, for likes, for comments, and all three. When you really put in that situation and stand 10 toes down, and all that,
right.
It's okay, man, not to do wrong. But I always say this: if you decide to go that route and do wrong, just be a man and take full responsibility for your action. I can respect you a whole lot.
Right.
And that's what's going on, man. And it's sad because I don't have all the answers, man. And we've known each other since 2003.
Right, since 2003. That's a long time. 17 years.
It's 2021.
17, 18 years, yeah.
And again, I'm not perfect, but I think that a lot of things that I've shared with you verbally, I think my actions that I've showed in front of you and my other nephews really showed that I cut any one of y'all off in a minute if y'all doing something that I don't condone of.
Right, sure.
That's because I'm not going down that road no more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I always told you, and a lot of the other guys, yeah, I go back and I speak to them guys, but my heart will always be in the prison, man. Because again, I thank God that, myself and a lot of other guys, have changed the narrative that just because you go to prison don't mean you're a bad person. You just made a bad choice and got caught.
I like that.
What about the people that
right
random red lights, and what about the people that did a lot of other wrong and haven't got caught?
Right.
Because we have to understand that if you don't stop, when you know you're doing wrong, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
And if you were the type of person sitting up here bashing other people, talking down on other people that been in the prison before, sometimes, boy, your number gonna be called. And I just feel like, I just want to change the narrative, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a I always been a student athlete. My mother stressed that.
Right.
Grades. And as a former inmate, it feels good to say that I made the dean's list in college 3 out of 4 years for maintaining a 3.0 or better grade point average for a semester. When this time I had like 20 something credits, 18 something, credits that I'm taking a semester. So it's okay. And what I will say, again, I don't have to be gay or anything to tell another male, M-A-L-E, that has the same color skin that I have, that I love you because I care.
Right.
I love you because it's okay to be different, man. I love you because it's okay to dream. It's okay to want to do the right thing.
Right.
So.
Right. And you mentioned something about, the kids. I see it, you know what I mean? The kids, I see like the money phone, just like what you said. And I see the guns and the different things like that. And, they don't know any better. But, like I said, we were given the music. You know what I mean? And we continue to push the same thing. Why?
That man, that's a touchy subject, bro. Like,
right.
And it bothers me to the core.
Right.
Because my era that I grew up in, I mean, you had different artists that talked about, crime, shooting, and things of that nature. But again, I think when you're taught that this is only entertainment, you better not go out there and do what you hear the people saying from your parents.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first one to say, sometimes you could come from a good home and still end up, doing wrong, going to prison and things of that nature. But I think it has something to do with, I guess, identity or reality. People not really knowing who they are. And then not thinking that what they hearing and seeing is reality. Right. And I think when you have an identity crisis, you will follow and you will listen to anyone and believe them. Because you don't know who you are. And they may be strictly lying to you, because you do have people out here that will manipulate you. And they know they can.
Right.
And my prayer is, again, man, my prayer is that I hope every male, M-A-L-E, I keep saying it because I can say M-E-N, but because you have two testicles and the penis don't make you no man. M-A-N, M-E-N.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just use the M-A-L-E.
Right.
We just got to understand, man, that everybody that talk tough, man, ain't tough. Again, I feel like, why we got to stand on cars? Why we got to always talk about killing somebody in our music? Why we got to, and my thing is this, man, and I'm going to tell you, and it's just common sense, man.
Yeah.
When you're doing wrong to me, you're doing wrong, but you don't want to get caught. So you're going to do everything in your power. You should do everything in your power to not get caught. But in today's era, man, it seems like you got people go out there do wrong, and the same gun you went and robbed, shot somebody, or killed somebody, when you put it on Instagram, you actually put yourself in prison.
Yeah.
And then when you get in front of the DEA and the, the private investigators and the people of that nature, you sitting up here lying when you put it on social media.
Yeah.
Why? I think it's, man, our mindset, bro. Some things are generational. I mean, I grew up in, you got some families where nobody never graduated from high school, nobody never went to college. Everybody in the family sell dope. Everybody, it's just, I don't understand, man, why everything has to be on social media, especially when you're doing wrong.
Right.
Somebody just need to tell me, what is the meaning of me posting $10,000 on social media? Like,
no.
I mean,
no, dog.
What's the purpose?
I don't know. Like that's my whole point. I don't get it, but it's a new thing, and you know we're a little older now, so it's a new wave for the young guys. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know what I mean?
You have older guys. You have all ages doing it, but I still don't want to. I still want to know what is the purpose, because if you're doing wrong and you got an AK-47, a 9mm, a 40 Glock, and whatever pistol you desire to have on there, what is the purpose? Like, do you really want to go to jail? Again, you heard me say earlier, if that's what you want to do, then hey, be a man to suffer the consequences when they happen. You see what I'm saying? And then another thing, you telling people, oh boy, I ain't gonna never get caught slipping, boy, if you run up on me, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. Now, you got some people out there that don't even play. Soon as they see you doing that, you know what their whole mindset is gonna be. And I'm just saying, this is reality. This is what goes on.
It's no time to talk. That's it.
If you the type of person that's on the ground saying what you gonna do and this, that, and the other, if I'm living that lifestyle, it's sad to say, you gonna get killed straight off top. Mm-hmm. Because you talking so much about what you're gonna do, that person feel like, I'm not gonna give you the opportunity.
Right. There's no talking. That's it. That's what I'm saying. They don't understand that, dog, because it's all show and play is what they see on TV, man, what they hear on the music. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't really know that lifestyle. Some do. Don't get it twisted. You know, some do back at the crib from other places, but it's some kids that, just like you said, that come from a good parent house and they just, you know, they hear the music and they jump in it. You know what I mean? So they don't know any better, man.
And the sad part about it, I spent like 7 to 8 years going to the TGK jailhouse in Miami, speaking to the youth. And when I tell you, man, it's guys in there that now they start to realize that I'm finna be gone for 30, 40 years and you're only 12, 13, 14 years old. Reality started to kick in. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because when some of them tell you the stories, like one young man told me the story, man, and I'm talking about, man, it brought tears to my eyes. He said that his father gave him a pistol, $500, and some weed, and told him don't let a nigga try you. Like, that's what we having sons for. Like, but then again, damn, maybe that's what his daddy was taught.
Damn. Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
And by no means, man, we don't ask for our parents.
Right. We don't.
We don't ask for the situations and the circumstances that we are brought up in. But along the way, and I'm quite sure you can attest to this, along the way, God will bless us with a coach.
Right.
A teacher, or whatever it is to try to guide us in the right direction. But it's up to us to adhere to those instructions and those directions and that guidance. Mm-hmm. And it's reality that some listen and go the right way, and some go astray.
Right. Man, that's big, man. But all right, you talked about snitching, and this is another thing I want to talk about too, because I think, and especially in our community, we need like a big reality. We need a lot of reality checks, dog. And we had a conversation about, you know, the Black Lives Matter and right, and the police and in our community, you know what I mean? people turning around killing each other, but then they want to talk about Black Lives Matter. Hold on now. Wait. What? Come on, man. Like, what are we doing, dog? Not us personally, but like, what's going on in the community?
Again, when you listen to the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Rosa Parks. I mean, you think about all those people that came before us that was fighting for the same thing or even more. I sit back and I ask myself, man, I may never see the change that I pray and hope for. But can I save the world? No. Mm-hmm. Can I just plant a seed? Yes. But my thing is this, like you and I were speaking about earlier. And it's sad. It's sad because I look at it like this. It's one world, but it's separated. Black and white. Is that right? Nope.
But that's just what it is.
But it's reality. I've had some white teachers along the way that treated me okay. And then you have others that didn't. But we all were created by the same person. We all bleed the same color. So when it comes down to why is it that we're treated differently depending on the situation and the circumstances, I may never know. I may never see the change. But like we've heard our grandmothers and grandfathers, uncles and aunts, probably even our parents say, we got to fix our home before we depend on somebody else to fix it. Is it right for, what's going on right now with the shootings and things of that nature? No. It's sad. It's hurtful. It makes me angry. But then again, I sit back and I ask myself, we have communities where little kids being killed and shot in drive-bys.
Right.
People in the neighborhood know about it.
Right.
But y'all not holding no rallies to say who killed Lil John. Nobody is standing on the corner of the end saying Black Lives Matter. Right. We got dudes killing each other over dope holes. Oh, you can't serve around here. I'm taking the whole block. That turned into a killing. People know about that. Nobody's saying nothing. Again, don't get me wrong. It's very frustrating to see what has been going on, man. When we've been losing our lives, man, to people that we supposed to trust. The people that we supposed to call when we're in trouble. But then again, if that hurt us, the people that look like me, if that hurt us that bad, maybe we need to change some of the things that we do in our community. Maybe we need to change the way that we're living.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Maybe we need to think about, was it really worth it? Killing this man and robbing this man over a dope hole? Over a rumor? Over he say, she say? Oh, he have a sex with my girlfriend, my wife, we have a sex with the same girl, it's confusion, I killed him, he shot me, this and that. I mean, is it really worth all that? I may not never see the change, man, but I pray and hope one day it come. We got to tighten up in our own house.
Right.
Having animosity and beef because old John work hard, go to work every day, got a Range Rover, but because you don't want to change your life, change your mindset, you catching the bus or whatever it is you're doing, you're not on that level materialistically. So now you begin to hate on him or her.
Right.
Instead of saying, hey, John, man, you know what? I've been checking you out for a couple of years. How you get to the level that you're at? Can you teach me? But no, we don't want to share information with nobody because we feel, again, him or her may pass us, maybe looking better than us.
Right.
Maybe whatever it is, it's a lot of foolishness, man.
Right. So that's that ego, man. Just got to learn to let it go, man. And I think, honestly, man, if kids, first off, because it starts with the young boys, the young men, if they understood who they were, you know, at a young age, and understood like community, and understood how to build each other up, and just like you said, understood how to communicate, you know what I mean? Because I think it's a big deal having a dad there. You know what I'm saying? Having a good dad there that's going to give you a foundation. Of course, not the dad that's going to give you that foundation that, just like you said, $500, gun and some weed, and tell them, don't let a nigga try you. I don't know what type of advice that is. You know what I mean? But having that good foundation of a man that's going to challenge you to grow, but going to challenge you to take the right path. But that's going to challenge you to make the decision on your own, though. You know what I'm saying? To make that choice. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we really have that in the community. And just like you said, the whole false advertisement. Instead of people being real with kids, we want to hold up money phones and guns and show them that type of lifestyle, instead of telling them just like what you said, what happens when you do wrong. You deal with the consequences. You know what I mean? We're not telling them the truth. You know what I mean? Because just like you said, because if you're a real man and you do the crime, guess what, buddy? You got to do the time. Own it up. Fess up to it. Oh, you're not going to do that. That's not real. But they say they real. They say it's 100, right? That's what they call it, right? 100, 10 toes down, right?
It's difficult.
Right.
It's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself sometimes, man, you know, as I had to tell y'all in college, you know, another word for crying, I just let it rain sometimes, man. You know, and it's hurtful because as a black man in this world, some people really don't know what we go through. And if we don't build each other up, more than we tear each other down, who can we blame?
Right.
Who can we blame?
Right.
Again, some of the things that we're taught as men, that stick with some of us. Man, don't cry what you crying for. You a sucker. You are this, you are that, you are that. So the emotions never come out. And then when they do come out, they come out in the wrong manner. Verbally.
Right.
Physically. And then it begins to escalate. And then before you know it, because I've seen it with my own eyes, talking to a kid that's 12, 13 years old, 14 years old, being sentenced to 60 years in prison.
Man, damn. He didn't even get to live his life, boss.
But that's why I said, sometime in life, some of us don't get that do-over like that other person did. And that's why I say again, no, I'm not perfect. I understand my purpose in life. And when you understand your purpose in life, you have no excuse.
Right.
Because like I said, you've known me over 17 years. You understand my passion. You understand my love. You understand when I love and I care about somebody, you know how it's going to come out. You can feel it. Like I've always said that when it's hot, you're going to sweat. Your pores begin to open. When it's cold, you get chill bumps. You cover up. When somebody real, they're passionate, they're authentic, they're being transparent, you're going to feel that.
Yeah.
But when I realized that I can't save the world, I realized that even though I care, I had to learn how to turn it off, man, and just put a period at the end. No more commas.
Got you.
A period, plant the seed,
keep it
and just
going.
pray that it grow.
Yep.
Did I ask to be that way? No. That we all have gifts and we all have talents. Some people are passionate about certain things. Other people are passionate about other things. And that's how you know it's your purpose, because you may be a little more passionate than this person over here about this situation. And that's how you understand your purpose. I had to learn that.
Gotcha. Man, hey, man, look, hey, always, you always dropping them bombs on people, man. And like I said, I appreciate it. And I want you to tell the people where they can find you, where they can find your stuff. Just what are you working on? You mentioned the clothing line, the Have Faith. You got the shirt right now. You have a lot of shirts. I have a few of your shirts. You know what I mean? So tell the people what you have going on, what you're working on, where to find you, everything.
I am on Instagram. My Instagram name is Artis_Brown _Jr. I'm also on Facebook, and they have like all the social medias are connected to one another. So once you follow somebody on one of the social media sites, you can also just click, a button, and they send you to the other social media sites. I do have my clothing line, Have Faith. Working on some new ideas. I have a new vision for that. Motivational speaker. Like I said, at the end of the day, I realized that my bad choices and decisions allowed me to gain wisdom. And with the wisdom that I've gained and acquired through my bad choices and decisions, it's my duty, it's my job to share it. That's why when you think about it, and you have a lot of testimony, you have a lot of things that you can share with the people. You can share someone for we need, but just to know that, and I always told you this and all the other guys, when people go through situations in life, if you really don't know what they are going through, just ask them, can you pray with them or for them? Because most of the time, we don't understand what people are going through, and we end up giving false hope. And you can only imagine if somebody almost at the brink of just giving up, throwing in the towel, but because you feel you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you feel like they're not going to receive what you're saying, if you don't know how they feel, you haven't experienced, just pray for them. Don't give a person false hope, because what you just did is allow that person to be, if whatever you told them don't amount to whatever you said, it don't turn out to be what you said, that's going to make them more angry, because again, I'm being lied to. So I just believe, being transparent, being honest, communicating, that should set the tone for anybody that's trying to, do the right thing, or if they're going through. I just say be honest, be transparent, and just share your testimony. That's how we get blessed.
Right. I mean, that's how you learn. You learn from people. Like you said, I learned a lot from you, watching you in college. We had a lot of conversation before, after, everything. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I think a lot of people in the community don't maybe share enough experience. You know what I mean? They hear, if you really think about it, the kids are hearing the experience from these rappers, and they're not hearing real authentic experiences like what you just gave on a daily basis, which I would think we used to get, when we were kids. I got it from my uncle. I'm not gonna front. You know what I mean? That's what kind of kept me straight. And then I would hear it from people like you, which kind of, kept me, straight, because that wasn't even my focus though. But I saw it all around me at the crib. I saw it all around me at the crib, but that was never my focus. Never what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And hearing it from guys like my uncle or guys like you, it helped. And kids are not hearing that experience. They're just seeing the guys with the money phone. They hear these rappers talking about these lifestyles, but guess what? They're not doing it.
It's called entertainment.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
You have to be able to know the difference. But it has to come from a credible person that they can say, you know what, you right. Dad, mom, uncle, brother, cousin, friend. You know what, you right, man. That's just music, man. We like the beat. You know what I mean? Right. It's a nice beat. Don't get me wrong. You just have to be able to distinguish the difference.
Man, but the thing is, right, what I know, that's why I like my brain as a logo. I do a lot of the studying with the brain and psychology, and that frontal lobe doesn't actually develop until you're 27. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about, they're still kids. We're trying to make them men at young ages to make hard decisions, and they don't have the capabilities of making those decisions. So how would they know that this is not reality if the people that's giving it to them are young? You know what I'm saying? They're young. All the young kids are feeding the young kids, and the old people, we're trying to feed them info, and they looking at us like we crazy.
Yeah, because everybody want to be liked. So they give false hope. They lie.
I love it. And like I said, go ahead.
So if you're lying to someone when you should be telling them the truth, and not worrying about how they gonna feel, but knowing that in me telling the truth, I'm saving your life. I'm saving you from being in a situation where your life can be taken and your freedom can be taken. Mm-hmm. Some people scared to tell the truth to these kids. Mm-hmm. And then when they go out there and do something wrong, it was you that could have helped prevent that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're dealing with a lot in this day and age, is that people are afraid to tell the truth. It seems like lying is the new truth.
Right. I don't understand that, man. I just don't get it, man. But I mean, not saying that I'm not gonna sit there and like accept that's the world that we live in. But I think that's just the information that's getting pumped. It's just like, say for instance, just what we're doing on this platform. At the moment, I don't have the resources to pump it out like a mass, like a big production company who had, just say we could use a rapper like The Baby or Lil Baby or whatever, whoever's out nowadays. They can put something out and they had that backing behind that strong media that's going to shoot it out to everybody Instagram, that's going to shoot it out on YouTube, that's going to shoot it out on all these sources and platforms for everybody to see. So just like you said, the lie can become a truth if you hear it enough. You know what I'm saying? So if they can take it and multiply how many times you hear it, then it becomes the truth. That's the world we're living in, dog. So stuff like this, and because you've been doing it for a long time, you know what I mean? And to get people to actually hear your work, it's some real work. Not saying that it can't be done, but it's real groundwork when you're doing it and you don't have that mass resource of pushing it out that way so everybody can hear your voice multiplied by how many times The Baby or Little Baby or whatever rapper they're promoting right now. Because if we had the resource to do that, things would change, dog.
I agree. Mm-hmm. And through the whole process, like I said, we all human. We do get discouraged at times. We do get frustrated.
Right.
We do go through that moment of a little depression when things are not working out in the time that we think it should be happening.
Right.
Or we hear the word no a couple of times. That word right there can destroy a person's spirit. that can make you want to throw in the towel. And like I said earlier, if you don't have at least one person that you know you going through it, you can pick up that phone at any time and call them, and you know they're gonna have your support spiritually, emotionally. You gotta have those type of people in your life, man.
Right.
Cause it's not easy, bro.
Right. And it is tough, man, as a man, as a leader of your household, you know what I mean? It can be challenging to hear no, and you're trying to put food on your table for your family. And I know we didn't get into it much. And like I said, we're going to do this again, you know, like talking about life after football when you're done with college and or even just finishing college and having a degree and trying to work in your field, and you realize that you've been sold a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, wait, hold on. I went to school. Wait, why can't I get a job in my field? You know what I mean? So it's so much that our people are behind the 8 ball because we did not create this game.
We didn't create it.
Oh.
But if you play it long enough, and as you're playing it, you connect with like-minded people.
Yeah.
You could come out on top.
True. Very true. Very true.
But in that coming up on top, another thing that destroys our people, we don't play our roles. And you heard me speak about that a million times in college. Everybody has a role, whether it's a working relationship, an intimate relationship, a regular friendship. Everybody has a role. Everybody has strengths. And all you have to do is when your number call in that area that you're strong in, take care of your business. When that time comes from an area that you're weak in, you're not skilled in, sit back and let your teammate do their job. But we let our egos get in the way, jealousy. Some people want more attention than this person. It's just a lot of stuff, bro. And that's why we may, again, I say may because I may not live to see certain changes that I pray for and I would like to see. And it's just hurtful, bro. Like, we always talk about sticking together. We always talk about this, always talk about that, but then we destroy ourselves.
We do.
And I think it happens in every race. It's just that I don't really have to say nothing else about that. I mean, man, my ultimate goal is every day that God breathe life into my lungs. Every day my eyes open, I can see clearly. Every day I wake up and my ears are clear. I can hear, I can comprehend, I can understand. Every day that I can move this mouth of mine and understand what's coming out of it and have the use of all of my limbs, I'm just gonna try to be the best version of me I can, man, and live in my purpose, bro.
I love it.
Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be held accountable.
Right.
What you did with your time. What you did with your time and what you did with your talent and what you did with your gift.
Right. I love it.
It don't sound like much, but those are the questions going to be asked of us. What you did with your time, what you did with your talent, and what you did with your gifts.
I love it. Hey, man, like I said, man, we got to do this again. There's a few things I want to talk to you about, man. I definitely want to bring you back because it's something I want to do. I want to show my collection, and I know you got your collection of cologne. Hey, we got to talk about those heavy hitters. Hey, we got to put some people on game. Hey, you ain't got to show them everything, but we can put some people on game, man. We can rap and we can show it on video, man. Like I said, I definitely want to do that. But I got the little fill in the blank to wrap up this whole conversation, man, because you dropped some jewels on us today, man. And like I said, I'm gonna say two things. I'm gonna say one thing is, and then you can go ahead and fill in the blank. And to Artis Brown, confidence is what?
It runs through my veins. It's in my blood. I bleed it.
You bleed it? Okay. All right. So attitude is what to Artis?
Very important.
Okay. Got you. Okay. All right. Mindset is what to Artis?
A priority.
Okay. Got you. And last one, and you can say whatever you want with it. Artis Brown is who moving forward?
Strong, courageous, tenacious, a king, a believer. I could go on and on.
That's what's up, man. And like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge. We definitely, like I said, we'll wrap. I definitely want you back. We got to talk about the cologne. And there's a few other things. Go ahead.
And we gonna end this, man. And I think as black men, when we start to understand that I can tell you I love you.
Yeah.
And mean it.
Yeah.
And you tell me you love me and mean it.
Yeah.
And then after we said, our actions show it, because it's going to come times in our life where, yeah, I say I love you, but then it's going to be situations that may arise for me to show you.
Right.
So we show and tell more to each other as black men, maybe that'll help change a lot of things. So, man, I want the world to know, and like I said, this, you know, I'm a backseat guy. I don't like the fame. I don't like the name. I'm just laid back. But when you get to know me, I'm a very funny, crazy guy. But hey, man,
right.
EJ, man, Artis Joseph.
Yeah.
Artis Joseph, boy, I love you.
Yeah.
I care about you, man, and boy, you know that, boy.
Yeah.
If I got it, you got it.
Right.
So I love you, man, and I'm proud of you.
Right.
And I pray that every door
right,
that God wants you to walk through, I want him to give you the keys. I want you to accept the keys. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, man. You a king, boy. I love you, boy.
Hey, man, appreciate it, man. Hey, love you too, man. And you hit that on the head, man, because that's something that you say all the time, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I didn't ever even grow up saying that to my dad. And that's something that's different. And that's what, now I want to say that's different. That's something that's needed, man, because I don't know where the disconnect or where did it come, because guys don't have a problem telling mom, I love you. You know what I'm saying? But like saying, well, I know that you and your brother, y'all ain't got a problem saying it to each other, but you don't see that often. Guys saying like, yo, you know, that's my brother. I love him, man. That's my brother. You don't hear that. I don't hear it. You know what I'm saying? I may be wrong, but I don't hear it often. And maybe you're right. Maybe we need to start saying that more, to start turning it so guys don't look at the next black man like, man, I'm gonna shoot him. Nah, that's my brother. I love him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, I think it's a learned behavior.
It is a learned behavior.
You too tough to tell another dude you love him, or you feel like you're gonna be called gay because you tell another man you love him. Nah, that don't mean that you gay. That mean, man, I do love you, bro, because you and I have the same color skin.
Right.
We can aspire to be anything that we want to be if we put our minds together.
Yeah.
And telling another brother you love him, man, that's not making you less of a man. So I pray to the audience that the seed that Artis Joseph and I planted today, that one life is inspired, motivated, encouraged, uplifted, but most importantly, you have hope now when you was hopeless, and I can sleep at night. I can sleep easily.
I love it.
And that's what I pray, man. And, you know, we're gonna have to cut this, man, because we could go on and on.
I
But
know.
It's what I love to do, man. I'm passionate about it, but I never thought that this would be a part of my journey.
Right.
Because we all have things that we aspire to do, we dream of do, we want to do, but then God say, no, I need you over here. You're gonna be more effective over here. So I love it, bro. And I just love speaking life. That's the thing. Yeah. We gotta speak life into one another versus death.
Right. Yes. I love it. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I know you have stuff to do, man. Like I said, we all go through that roller coaster of life. Why not have a guide to elevate your mindset? Go ahead, get them short.
There it is, man. Purchase your shirts. Instagram, Artis _Brown Jr. To-do list. Worry, no stress, no have faith. Yes.
There we go. Got you. Boom, man. Appreciate it. Jim, out.